Apple just released something that people are saying could be the best thing that they have done this year, their favorite Apple update or product, and the #1 feature that they've been waiting for years. And with that, the FBI is not so happy. So in this video, I'll explain exactly what it is, how you can set it up and start using it today, and why it really matters. So make sure to pay attention. Now, right away, so many people are giving props to Apple. They're saying we finally have good news. We're getting some great memes coming out of this, and it is absolutely free, which also means that competing products are gonna start losing money. There are actually 3 different layers to this, and one thing that you absolutely have to know. So starting out with the main news that Apple announced end-to-end encryption options for iCloud photos, notes, backups, and much more. Now, nobody was expecting this, so it was a great announcement. And I know it might sound boring, but I'll explain exactly why it's important. Now, Apple already has really great security and privacy, especially compared to other platforms, but this adds additional privacy for your device backups and message backups for your iCloud Drive, notes, photos, reminders, voice memos, Siri shortcuts, and wallet passes. Now, this is full end-to-end encryption. Now, that means that not only is your info encrypted, that also means that nobody has access to it, not even Apple. And to prove that, they say that if you lose your account, they can't fix it for you. You're gonna have to have one of the backup options that only you have access to. This is called advanced data protection, and it is the highest level of protection that you can have. Now, you can turn it on yourself, and you can actually turn it off at any time. Now, you might say, why does this even matter? I have nothing to hide. And I feel kind of the same way, but there have been so many leaks over the years. iCloud photos leaking where celebrities had a bunch of photos they didn't want leaked out there. There's breaches for credit card information, private information that goes out. I've had my accounts hacked before, which really sucked. And now that we're relying more and more on our phones, when you have cameras that are being hacked, smart devices, even being able to unlock your house or your garage, that can be hacked. Something like this makes a massive difference, and it matters who holds the keys. And in this case, even Apple won't. For example, with Google, they store the keys themselves. That also means there's backdoors for other people to be able to access your information. And with that, we've had many companies, for example, Google, where employees would go and access information and spy on emails, chats, and things like that. And with the majority of encryption, including what Apple had before, even though they say your data is safe, whoever has the keys can still access it and look at things like your chats, photos, things like that. But that ends with end-to-end encryption, which is exactly what Apple just did. And the really cool thing is that this announcement came out saying that it's gonna come with iOS 16.2, and then 2 days later, we have the drop for that update. So you can use this right now. And the day after, the FBI came out and they said that end-to-end encryption is deeply concerning, while at the same time, privacy groups are hailing Apple's new advanced data protection. It's a victory for users. So here we have quotes from a lot of different groups. For example, the people that run Signal that has encryption, saying that's a great thing. Surveillance technology companies are saying this is essential and it's overdue, and Apple is pushing all of this forward. So of course, iPhones have had a lot of privacy for many years, and way better than other brands that mine your data and sell it. But for example, messages, when I would text, since I have backup to the cloud and it's getting sent to the servers, that did not have great protection and it was able to be accessed. But now you can have backups enabled and still have encryption, and all your data cannot be accessed by anybody. Now, in addition to this, we have another major win where Apple abandoned their controversial photo scanning that was done on device. Now, there are good things about it, but there was a huge outcry of people not wanting all their data being scanned, all their photos, for privacy concerns. And Apple came out with a statement saying that after extensive consultation with experts, they have decided to not move forward with this previous proposal where it would just happen without any of your consent. And of course, with that, a lot of people commenting on this saying that this is the right move. There's other ways to do protection, and this is a major step in the right direction. Of course, it was a backlash of the people that made this happen. And that is also why we tell you guys to do make a fuss when Apple does things wrong, because they do listen. They do make changes with the 16-inch MacBook Pro. They added back ports, they added back MagSafe. By the way, if you wanna get a great deal on one right now, we have the YouTube shopping. You guys can go check that out right over there. And with the M2 MacBook Air, well, we talked about the SSD situation. I don't know if that will get fixed, but Apple does listen. So it's good to talk about these things. Now, with all this, they made another announcement, which is great, and that is the fact that you can now use physical security key support for Apple ID two-factor authentication. Now, I already used this after I got hacked before, but you know, when you get a pop-up when you're logging in, you get the code on another device, you don't always have internet connection. You could be remote and you can get locked out. Well, now there's gonna be multiple ways to have your own personal key or physical key to be able to log into your devices. Now, there is one downside to this, which I'll mention in a sec, but I wanna say that Apple has multiple pages about what they're doing, exactly how it works if you wanna get into the nitty gritty. But I do wanna show you guys this one section where with iCloud that gives you info, and it shows you exactly what can get end-to-end encrypted on here. For example, your health data, home data, payment information, maps. You have your Wi-Fi passwords, W1 and H1 Bluetooth keys over here, which is very important because now I'm using that for unlocking my home. And even Memoji are end-to-end encrypted, meaning Apple doesn't have access to all of the things that are here. So the downside is that this new encryption can't be enabled from new devices right away, meaning if you just bought a new iPhone, you'll have to wait to be able to enable it. It's not on by default, but for older devices that is, you know, it's your phone, so it's not somebody that just buys a new phone, gets into your account and then enables this and can lock them out, you're able to set this up. And with that, you do have to have iOS 16.2 to be able to enable it, and thankfully it's available right now, so you can go and download it. And you also have to have your other devices that are on your account updated to the latest version. Now, the main downside is that if you have devices that cannot be updated to new versions of iOS, so if they're really old devices, then you're kind of locked out, because as soon as you enable it on your phone, it actually works across all of your devices. And since it's on your device, it has to run and be capable of doing that. So some people might have to remove old devices if they aren't using it or upgrade. So now, how do you enable this to keep all hackers, leakers, and everybody else out when your data is secure? So you're gonna go into your settings on your phone, you wanna click on your Apple ID, and then you're gonna press on iCloud, scroll down to the bottom, and then you'll see Advanced Data Protection. It's gonna show you all of the things that are gonna be end-to-end encrypted here, which is really cool. First, you wanna do the account recovery setup because you need to make a recovery and a key. So you wanna select that on there. The whole thing is really easy and quick to do, even though it's hidden in the menus. I'm gonna go ahead and set up my recovery key here. I'm not gonna show you guys what this key is because it's my recovery key. And bam, it is done. You'll get an email from Apple saying that there's a new recovery key. You wanna make sure you keep this safe, make sure you'll know what it is. And then lastly, we're gonna turn on Advanced Data Protection. Now, as you guys see, it's telling me that I have to wait till January 14th because I just bought a bunch of new Apple devices. That is totally fine by me. I'm gonna hit okay. And once that date comes, I'm gonna be able to enable this, so set a reminder for yourself, or if you don't have new Apple devices, it will work right away. So I think this is a huge win for all sorts of people. It's a huge win for privacy. You guys let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Click that circle above to subscribe. Check out one of those great videos right over there. This is Max, and I'll see you in the next one.